Good morning. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm back again. Oh, he's back again. I'm back. I'd like to say that this is going to be a quick video, but I'd be lying. It's probably going to be a long one, like they usually are. So, I suppose these videos serve as a kind of not a blog, a promotional aspect, a moan, a gripe, and a diary vlog for myself to look back at and remind myself of my moods and what's going on in my life and the world at large. And so the latest is I'm nursing some losses at the moment. Yesterday I was up £600 and down, and today I'm down 300. I'm a net up 300, but I'm more concerned about the loss of 300 than I am about the gain of 300. What's that about? Anyway, in the meantime, I came in today and it's as if eBay switched the sales off. They do that from time to time. I mean, there was a time, the first time it happened to me, it was great, sales were going up and up and up, and all of a sudden they stopped. What's going on? Has somebody pulled the plug out or something like that, That's the kind of thoughts that you have, and then you go into the discussion boards to complain and moan, and other people will say, no, my sales are exactly the same, they've gone dead today. And then others are going to say, mine are booming. You know what I mean? And the general wisdom out there is that when that happens, get busy maintaining your listings, tidying up, doing housekeeping. I call it merchandising. So merchandise, the problem is that they used to last about 3 or 4 days, and then all of a sudden the sales will get going again, so it do your head in for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, a week at the most, and then you go off on another growth curve for 3-4 months. Now they seem to be like 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then the actual growth curve lasts less time. You know what I mean? So you've got to get busy. And so what I've been doing, I've noticed that 2 things have happened recently. They're having a big impact. One of them is postage has gone up a lot, an awful lot. And I've always offered free postage on eBay, and it's always worked quite well with me. The wisdom was that eBay gives you an extra, or they said that according to their research, you get an extra 5% views, and you'll sell 5% more by offering free postage. But the problem is that I found that every time the postage goes up, I spend months afterwards going into every listing and changing the prices, and it's just far too cumbersome and labour intensive, and I just don't seem to actually win. I feel as if I'm just grinding water, walking on water and not getting anywhere. So I made the decision to basically abandon free postage and develop an aspect of the software I've got, or utilise an aspect of the software where I can basically go into a profile, create a postage profile, and charge postage. And that when the postage in future goes up, all I've got to do is go into that postage profile and change the price, and it'll affect all my listings. So I've got to create several different postage profiles, but it's going to be a lot less challenging. And I've gone in, I was just looking at one of the profiles this morning. I charged £1.99 for package and postage. That cost me £1.68 at the moment, but it's plus VAT. And then when I finish with the price, it comes up to £2 and a penny. So I'm charging £1.99 for something that cost me £2 and a penny, right? The other penny or 2p, I claw back inside the price of the product. But I wondered, how much does a customer pay postage when he goes to the counter, the post office counter? So I put, what is the large letter? 100-gram large letter first class postage, and it's £2.10. So I'm kind of sort of like 11p cheaper than postage. But I've had 1 or 2 people basically complain that I'm now charging postage. It is actually cheaper and better for the customer, especially those who make multiple purchases. Definitely a lot cheaper for them. So I'm hoping to sell more, but the marketplace, eBay, it's becoming very competitive, or rather, I won't say it's competitive, it's just that there's a lot more choice for customers to go elsewhere. There's a lot of other different platforms that they go to. A lot of people are now beginning to buy from on the Chinese platforms, and wait 4 or 5 days a week or whatever for delivery, because for sure the delivery time is collapsing. It's, before you know it, the Chinese will probably be flying in airplanes every single day, and they buy today and you get it tomorrow kind of thing. I bet you any money. and the Royal Mail will just do, you know, I think it's every dealing with the final mile on most things. Because I've also bought stuff from China recently for my personal, well, actually for my business, for you know, brackets for my GoPro and that. I order it today, get it next week, and every year delivering it to the door. That final mile, you know. Anyway, enough of that moaning. But I already decided 18 months ago, 2 years ago, I just cannot rely on eBay for a source of income. It's too volatile, it's too unpredictable, and I do believe they have our interests at heart, but they're also a business and trying to claw as much as they can. It's called a share of the wallet. They want a bigger share, basically. And so they keep playing around with the algorithm and coming up with different ways for us to promote our business. And yet I've lost sight of how many different promotional aspects they've got. I don't even look at them anymore. I just stick to the one I've got on multi-buy promotion. But you know, I'd rather give the customer the incentive to shop with me rather than eBay promoting it. But I also believe that paying for extra exposure will only lead to more sales. They won't be as profitable as what the other sales are, the organic sales, but I'll get a lot more of them. And I think it's a wise thing to do on account of the cash flow aspect. You know, you'll see more sales, more cash flow, which means I can put the money into other products and continue to refresh the business or the product offering in the form of new products, basically. New product offerings, new stories to tell. And yet I sense also at the same time that there's something else going on in the economy. Something else is up, right? There's a change in consumer behaviour happening, beginning to happen. This what's it? You know, people crafting and making things um, is a discretionary choice. They choose to do it with their spare time, and the spare time they have, if they've got the money, they'll go and buy the products to actually make something in that spare time. The problem you've got is that they don't have the money. I think the COVID boom is over. The reality set in. Bills have got to be paid. There's a lack of money about, and the people are still crafting, but they're crafting smarter. I think they will begin to use things like old denim jeans and old clothes and work with that, or up, not upscore, up. I can't remember what the word is, where they improve an existing product or something like that. The other thing I noticed is that the marketplace Vinted has just recently formally allowed professional sellers on there. There always was professional sellers on there. It's just that they didn't have the policies or the processes in place to support the professional sellers, so they were kind of all treated the same way. But they have this obligation to ensure that these people are registered with the Inland Revenue, that they pay their VAT, even the VAT issue, all that kind of thing. Otherwise, as a marketplace, they can kind of get into trouble. Plus, they've got to police the marketplace to make sure that the professional sellers aren't selling things like counterfeit goods and things like that, you know. So, but they've recently allowed that, and of course there are professional sellers who will go out there and buy something off Vinted. I do. I've been buying shoes off there, just as a little side project, you know, and then they'll go and sell them on another marketplace, or they will be buying on elsewhere and selling them on Vinted, but they will be selling them at higher prices. So an ordinary Joe, an ordinary person, a Jane or John Doe as they call them, or Mr. and Mrs. Smith, will sell their wardrobe on there, and they won't necessarily know how to price it. So they'll go and look, say, how much are these Givenchy shoes? I said, should I get 20 quid for them? 20 quid. Well, how much is there other people selling them for? So they'll go and have a look. So, blimey, 60, 70 quid. So they'll end up putting them at 60, 70 pounds because they'll see the professional sellers selling them at high prices. So the marketplace will become more expensive, and it will deter people from shopping there over time, you know. That's what I think. I think that's happened on eBay. I think it's happened on Amazon as well. Maybe wrong, I don't know. But, you know, there are other marketplaces. There's Facebook, there's Spock. There's lots of them. There's loads of little different apps. It's becoming very competitive. But the big change that I've seen in the last few weeks, and especially in the last 24 hours, let me talk about the last few weeks, then the last 24 hours. The last few weeks, what's caught my attention is a comment that somebody made in a resellers post on a Facebook group. Nick and Andrea again, one of those conversations, because they've recently had a conversation with an eBay rep, an eBay executive who's just taken over the operation, Marina or something like that. And basically, one of the followers commented that live selling is imminent on eBay, and live selling had already caught my attention on TikTok. It's something I've got to go back and explore in a bit more detail. You know, they keep inviting me to open up a shop on there, and I will do it. But I've got a few things to deal with here first before I can get to that live selling aspect. But I definitely fancy doing it because I just like it. I like the idea. I used to work on the markets, you see, so to me it would be like a live selling on a market stall. I've been a passive selling. I want to become active selling. I think it might lead to more sales. I'm hoping maybe tidy myself up, get a shirt and tie on, get my hair cut, get rid of this hat, you know, look a bit smarter, right? Get a script going, get some products to sell, and I might have the spiel for it. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll try it. However, live selling I think is imminent on eBay, and so I'm kind of gearing up for it anyway. I wanted to move that way, and for me it was about getting there's 2 or 3 things I've got to do. I've got to get the environment right, which I'm working on, and I'm pleased to announce that yesterday I placed an order for my new cutting table. I was hoping to get it before next bank holiday weekend, before Good Friday, but they said to me, no, it's likely to take 10 working days. Okay, so I get it when I get it. I've told my father about it. He's kind of excited because he kind of realises he can paint it. My dad used to be a painter, you see, so I've asked him to varnish the work surface, and it's in a marine ply. So I'm hoping it will look nice, you know. That'll come, and then I can basically start, because there'll be a lot of space underneath the table available to me. I've got 2 shelves on both sides, so I can get a lot of stuff under there, stuff that I frequently reach for, you know. At the moment it's all around me, you know, and I want it, it's on show. I want to get it out of the way, and I want to utilise the shelves that I've got for fabric. That's where I want to move to, into fabric. I feel as if I've got this I've got a love for fabric. I think anybody that basically crafts eventually, you know, quilters and sewists and dressmakers, they love fabric. Who doesn't? It's the main thing you work with. For me, I've been building up haberdashery for the last 10 years. I've got dabbled in a bit of fabric, but I've got to get into it in a bigger way. And it's that I want to sell live. So I've got to get my camera situation set up, and I've realised that this cutting table is going to be my studio. It's going to be where I live sell, and it's also going to be where I sew and where I video what I'm sewing. So it's going to be quite exciting for me. I'm hoping that it's going to remove, by getting the table, I'm going to remove a number of barriers that allow me to move forward. I'm hoping, I don't know, maybe the rest of the biggest barrier is in the head and I haven't discovered it yet, but we shall see. However, the big thing that's happened in the last 24 hours, I said, oh, let me talk about that, is which is troubling really, but I don't know, we'll see the reasons for it. But it's an American company called Joann's, massive, I think that's several hundred stores, retail fabric, and it's where most Americans go and get their fabric, and they've gone bankrupt. They went bankrupt in 24. I think it was imminent. I think people knew about it. People are a bit alarmed, but over there they're going to something which they call Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and it allows them to actually become a phoenix, to be reborn again out of the ashes. So they'll probably get a lot of discounted fabric. They'll have big sales and that kind of thing. Close down some stores, that kind of stuff. But I think the reason why, because this Joann's has been around, a household name, been around for a long time. I think they floated on the stock markets apparently for $12 a share, and I think the big business got involved, forced them to take loads and loads and loads and loads of debt on. So it forced them to take loads and loads and loads of debt on, and that's got into a lot of trouble. And their share price has gone down and down and down and down and down, and they've filed for bankruptcy. So they're going to be reborn from the ashes, probably Joann's too, you know. But the reasons, the media is reporting that the reason why they've gone down is because people stopped spending money on it, on fabric. And I don't think that's the case, because I think we've been in a boom situation for the last several years. become very popular sewing, and I don't believe people just suddenly stop just like that. Maybe they've stopped spending as much as they used to, but they're still spending money on fabric, and or maybe they're drawing down on what they call their stash. This is the fabric that they've built up over time. I call it a palette because it's got all your different types of fabrics and all your different colours, what you need for a project. And usually a project is born on the back of some kind of inspiration, and if you don't embrace that inspiration there and then the inspiration goes and the idea for the project dissipates and you lose it. The only thing that you need in order to embrace that initiative is fabric. If you've got it, you can jump on it straight away. If not, a couple of days later, you've forgotten about it, you know. However, if it's true that people have stopped spending money on fabric because of the economy in America, then that could be a signal for what's going to happen here. And I think it's probably going to get a bit more competitive in the marketplace. We might see some people retreat from it. It's probably a good thing. I just don't hope. I hope I'm not one of them. I hope I can weather that storm if it comes. I'm in relatively low overheads, but I'm Birmingham City Council. They've bankrupt themselves, and I'm half expect the rent to go up. You know, I think they're either going to sell the estate, this unit off to a private investor, and they'll basically put the rent up, or the council will put the rent up, and for sure the rent will go up one way or the other. So I'm thinking that in order to actually cover my costs, I've got to kind of turn this into a bit of a shop, hence the table and reorganising all the shelves so that I can get on social media, try to sell live from social media, but also make people aware that I'm here and invite them down. Come down, spend some money. If I can get people through the door, the objective is just to make enough money from retail spend in through the door to cover the rent. If I can get that done, that'll be a big plus, because that means I can just get on with developing my own business, my own website. And that's where my real future is, really, on my own website. I've really got to actually focus on that, because there's a lot of work to be done on it. But that's where I am. I suppose it's a little bit of a moan, isn't it? But it's all positive. It's all good. I do know that when things get tough, it becomes an emotional time. But in the darkest hour, the darkness usually precedes the light. You know what I mean? It's dark at night and then it's light in the morning. I think King David said, distress in the morning and joy in the evening. That's what he used to say. Well, one of his songs did anyway. And he was the greatest rock star that ever lived, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'll love you and leave you. I don't think there's anything else to report. No, but keep watching this space. Like and subscribe. That'll help me out. I really would love to get to be one of these YouTubers that's pulling in millions. I think that's probably the ultimate sort of reward, meritocracy. But you need all the kit and you need to learn how to edit videos, and I'm kind of working on it, but it's so time consuming. That was the other thing. I had a notification from my gym that it's going up from £16 a month to £18 a month because their costs are going up. I thought, okay, I understand that fully well, but I'm going to have to cancel it because I don't go. So I'm not paying more money for something I'm not using. And I thought, well, what are you going to do? That's why you're overweight. You need to lose weight, and the reason you're not losing weight is because you're not going to the gym. But I've got an old bicycle outside, and I think we're coming to the summer months. I'm going to get that greased up and everything. I'm going to get on the bike, cancel my gym membership, get on the bike, and get out there and see if I can lose a bit of weight off my chin and my face. Yeah, so I'm reminded of my grandmother. She was a dressmaker. My grandfather was tailors, and I remember I had this denim jacket, Levi denim. I used to love Levi's. I had Levi t-shirts, Levi denim jackets, Levi jeans, red kickers. It's all I wore. I didn't want to buy any. I didn't wear anything else. And these Levi jeans, I had about 4 or 5 pair of Levi jeans. I love them, but this one particular pair I loved more than anything. and my nan would wash them every week, and I'd wear them again the following week, and the knees started to fray, and I didn't ask her to do it because I didn't know you could do it, but she got them out and she sewed them backwards and forwards to repair them. They look great. I loved them. Then she put patches on the knees, and I wore these jeans forever. I just loved them. I rather suspect that we're moving into a new era of make it do and mend. I think that's what it's going to be about. And so I'm gonna see if I can make do and mend some of my clothes and video myself doing exactly that, because I've got plenty of stuff to sell to help people make do and mend. So maybe I should do that. Martin, make do and mend. Anyway, 20 minutes. I'll love you and leave you. Like, subscribe, blow me a kiss, send me your love. Mwah! I'm sending you it back. Thank you. Bye.